everyone and welcome. Today's reading is going to be about the karmic bond between you and your present partner or your future partner. So we're going to have a look at the energies involved and basically how your past lifetimes, if that's that's something you're interested in, could be reflected in this present lifetime. So this is pile 1, pile 2 and pile 3.
La música de Harry Fraud.
Okay, right, pile number 1, let's get started. The person you're asking about, their energy is coming across as very magnetic, almost romantic and almost unaware of the effect that they have on others, which is a very, very strong effect in the fact that they seem to have a really open and kind and spiritual outlook on life that they don't need to label. They haven't labelled themselves. They are not aware of the way that they think and how well they come across, and basically how many people they bring towards them and how many people are probably drawn towards them. I do think your person probably has a lot of people interested in them. They seem to be almost romantic, but in a way that they don't even, probably quite modest with it. You are coming across as somebody who is very forthright, foolhardy and a very strong personality. Somebody who is direct and focused and who knows what they want and how to get it. And we also have the card here between the pair of you of blind enthusiasm. So I do think that, and I think this is coming mainly from you, that it is very possible that you may get yourselves into sticky situations that you don't think about before it's too late. And I'm not saying that in a negative sense that you have got yourself, because I haven't looked at these yet, but I think that you are somebody who throws themselves into any situation without thinking about the outcome. You like change and you're attracted to change, and you may even be quite attracted to danger. You definitely do not like the status quo. You are somebody who probably gets bored quite easily, and somebody who likes to... You're probably very attracted to people who are direct and open and adventurous. You would rather be attracted to somebody who had quite a difficult early life and that was interesting to talk to than somebody who was bland. Your other person, on the other hand, which is strange, becomes up as somebody who is very easy with themselves, who is very relaxed with themselves, and life almost throws itself into their lap, which is different from you, because you come across as somebody who is strong and focused and makes things happen. If you want something, you're going to do it. Right, let's go through your cards one by one, because all these cards can be overwhelming. So I'll just go through it bit by bit and see how these energies fit in. I think that when you two came together, or when you met or you're going to meet, it's almost going to be as if one is coming out of an established relationship. I do think that you possibly are the driving force behind this relationship, because you've got the King of Wands here in like the hopes and wishes, and the King of Wands, which is almost fitting with your energy here, is somebody who is forceful and focused, adventurous, and enjoys life and basically does not want to miss out on anything. And behind you in the past, you've got this energy of juggling two things with Justice, which is the marriage card. I think that you possibly could have been the instigator of this relationship, and this person has quite happily gone along with it, because I think the attraction, because you've got the Empress card here, is very strong. If you are female and having this reading, or whether your partner is female, I think it's the female energy here, whether it's... See, I think if you are a female asking about a man, I almost think that your man has a very sort of feminine energy. I think they may be very good at talking to women, and a lot of, if it is a man, a lot of women find them very attractive because they're quite at home with their feminine side. Then I do not get a masculine feeling if this is a man that you're having a reading about, and if it's not, then it's, you know, that's basically fits as well. And I do think that you have come together through an almost a difficult path to get together. I think you may, one of you or both of you may have had to leave a relationship that was quite established and quite difficult to leave. Rather than just like, you know, childhood, and either like a boy and a girl together when they're like 13, 14, they go on to the next partner. I wonder whether behind you there's like some broken marriage or a divorce or just an established relationship, and I wonder whether your relationship has started at the same time. There's a very sort of karmic feel here. So if this is if this is like a past life and these are your energies, it's almost as if this repeats itself in this life. And I wonder whether you've met each other through a work situation or through studying or some financial situation. It could even be anything like in a shop. But it's like the beginning of your relationship could very possibly have been meeting in work or Ace of Pentacles. Some financial exchange, just some new beginning, which is basically based in some very real situation, like a new job situation. It's not like thoughts or feelings, it's something concrete that has brought you together, which sounds stupid anyway. I wonder whether you were in a relationship when you have met this person and the feelings have been very strong and you've got a very strong personality, whether because you've got the Ten of Pentacles here, you've got the Justice behind, as if there's some sort of established family situation here, and they could possibly be younger than you, or their energy could be youthful. And they may have offered you some sort of, they may have offered you this Ace of Pentacles in some small way, like would you, you know, like studying together, or you've worked together, and they've been so almost quite innocently friendly, and it's basically tumbleweed, what's the word? Tumbleweeded into some sort of almost magnetic, passionate attraction. It's as if you two have come together and it's almost like a fated attraction. I think you're the one that was probably very forward with this, because I think that once you know what you want, you basically don't want to miss out. Where I think your person here could honestly be a bit coy with the way that they've come across, and maybe a little bit more watery and a little bit more sort of at ease. But I don't think deep down they are any different from you, but you just don't mind showing it. I get a feeling that your person is quite aware of the effect they have on people and how they act, but I think that you don't put any flowers in what you're doing. You basically just go straight for it. You're not afraid to be rebuffed too much, and you'd rather not miss out on something you think is important than risk the thought of being refused or pushed aside. Which is difficult, I know, but I just get that feeling. And I do get the general feeling at the moment that things are quite difficult between you. And I do get the feeling that this is possibly because of a shift in a relationship and with other people possibly involved. An established relationship. This may be in the past, I don't know, but I think that's something that's telling in your overall relationship is the fact that the coming together could possibly have been difficult. I'm just going to go through the cards once again and sort of sum up all the cards here that, if you just bear with me a moment, I just basically sink my eyeballs into. Magician of 11, Starborn. Okay. I wonder whether your person is somebody who may possibly be born not with a silver spoon in their mouth, but in a very sort of easygoing, affluent family, and they have been able to afford to play with thoughts. They are probably quite romantic. They probably like the thought of life being a bit sort of glittery and starry. And they like the thought of being attracted to people and people being attracted to them. You, on the other hand, are coming across as, if I like somebody, I'm going to go for it. There is a huge feeling of enthusiasm and fieriness from you, and almost like a gentle but just a strong feeling from them. I think that you have come together through you being the instigator in the relationship, and almost there could have been another relationship going on before you got together that could have caused some sort of upset or secretiveness, or basically sneaking around before things were established. I think that you've been attracted to each other because of, I think this person finds you very attractive in a very feminine way. Even though that you're feisty, it's exactly the type of person that, if you are female, that they like somebody who looks feminine but who is tough. Somebody who knows how to handle themselves. And there's been a very strong magnetic karmic pull. I do think that when you got together, I do think it possibly could be to do with some sort of work situation, that it was almost as if when your eyes met, you knew that you wanted to be together. But there's almost established marriage feel or relationship behind you. I think that you're very sort of family orientated. You like the thought of having an established family, and I think that's what you bring to a relationship now. But I think that they are possibly have a sort of a younger energy that's almost playing with life a little bit more easily swayed than you. Your personality is very strong, but I'm wondering whether at the moment, due to the fact that the relationship may possibly have moved on from another one that was established, whether this is what you're finding quite hard. If you are the one that's finding the relationship hard at the moment, I think that you may feel that everything always falls upon you to make the decisions. I wonder if this is now an established relationship, you have moved on perhaps from other partners, whether you are, almost, if you're female or male, I don't really know. The person having the reading is the one that makes the decisions, and the one that probably earns the most money, or the one that, the one that seems to take on a lot of responsibility. Well, I wonder whether your partner is very easy to live with, very lovely to live with, very giving, very open. And on the surface has a real, I don't just mean on the surface, only on the surface, but their life functions well, and they seem to have like everything together. But I think you're the one that's doing all the hard work, and I think you're the one that instigates the relationship. And I wonder whether you've taken this. I don't actually mean taken, but of course I'm only saying this because of your personality. Whether you're the one that's instigated the relationship getting together, and maybe at the expense of leaving another relationship. I don't know who's left or who's moved first, or whether you're both in a relationship. I do feel that this situation has repeated itself. Your personality, their personality has repeated itself over. You've got the Judgment card here. It's basically lots of lifetimes, and this whole pattern of you being the more dominant partner, you being the person that the one that ends up having to make the final decision, because your person is very attractive and very dreamy. You are feisty, and you are a strong person who likes Scorpio, Aries feeling about you. Somebody who really enjoys. There's a phrase for this. I don't know what it is, but basically kicking everything up into the air. You don't care. You don't care. You are established. You are strong. You are not afraid of taking somebody from a situation that you think is established, because you think that situation is right for you and them. And I think that's what's happened. The Ace of Pentacles, I don't know how you've met, but it makes me think there's some sort of financial sort of flavour to your meeting. I'm thinking work, but it could be, it could be basically paying for goods. It could be anything. But I wonder whether at the moment the relationship is quite difficult. Maybe, you're still trying to get things established. It could be basically the way that you got together. You could be finding it difficult, or just generally in life at the moment, at the state that everybody in the world is at. Everybody is having to work as a partnership or team or a group or community, and this could just basically reflect where you are in life. If you look at past lives, you probably found that if it wasn't basically a strange year with jobs up in the air, with COVID and all this lot, you'd probably find it would have been something very similar but different. As you say, Great Plague. I know we said that, I just said it, or just basically moving from one continent to the next. Who knows? But I do think that this pattern has repeated itself with you and with your partner in many lifetimes. You are you're the solid person in the relationship. They are very attractive, and there's a very strong bond between you. And I think you are a very attractive person, but there's no messing with you. You may come across as soft. You probably come across as very feminine on the outside, but there's no messing with you. I think that your childhood could possibly have been have set you up to be firm with people, and that's what you do. You're not afraid to make change. You're not afraid to call things out as they are. Right, I'm going to stop there because I've got so many cards here. It's really difficult. I hope it's made sense. There's a very strong bond. There's you are a very strong person, and your person is very magnetic and probably very attractive. There's a devil-may-care attitude about you, and there's a karmic feel that this has repeated itself over and over again. Your person is almost coming across as the one that needs to be looked after, and you're coming across as, I've dealt with my childhood, I know how to deal with this, I will do it. You don't mind taking the upper hand in the relationship. Okay, well, I'm going to stop there. Pile number 1. I don't know if that makes any sense to you at all, but I'm going to leave it there, and you can fill the gaps in if there are any. Thank you for watching. Hi, pile number 2. I'm going to get started with you. I'm going to go through the cards bit by bit because there's so many cards. I don't know if you can see them all. I'll try and hold them out. That I'm just going to talk about energies, your person's energy, your energy, and then see how it all fits together. But I'm going to have to do it bit by bit because there's so many cards. But I do think that the main reason that you two have been pulled together is some sort, because you've got the Devil card here for your person. There is some sort of almost attraction that neither of you can deny. Is almost so potent that it can be a little bit addictive, obsessive. Sounds fantastic. Right, let's go. I think that your person is somebody who is very controlling, and somebody who has two, I'm going to say energies, but my first thought was two smells about them. I don't know, I was going to say that. They come across as being very sort of kind, very gentle. They're probably somebody that goes out of their way to help other people. But deep down underneath them, there's also a controlling thing about them where they give, but they also expect some sort of respect. And they give an image across as being very sort of gentle, very open, and always ready to be there for somebody else. But once they decide that they like somebody, it's almost as if another part comes out of them that's very strong, very sexual, very obsessive. I think that they're quite stable in life. And I do think that what you see when you first met your person, or when you meet this person in this lifetime, is somebody who is very attractive in a almost like, people in caring professions where they are very sort of at ease with themselves, they're very giving and they make you feel very secure and they're very good at listening and they come across as being very strong and very, is altruistic the word? I can't say it. But it's that just general feeling of coming across as very inept in life in general, in a kind and open and in a strength. But I think once you get to know this person, there's bits that come out that you don't think are quite at one with the way that they first appear. I do think they're very sexual, and I do think they also like to dominate in a very gentle way. Did I mean gentle then? In a very unspoken way. I'm going to leave that there and carry on. And I can picture in my head, and I don't know if I've explained that very well, this type of person. They're probably the type of person that mothers love, fathers love. If you're introducing your boyfriend or girlfriend, think, oh, they're a really nice person. They're doing this, they're doing that, they help other people, and they really do go out of their way, and they make people feel good, and they're probably very sort of at ease with themselves and just to have that general feeling of being really attractive. But then you think that they haven't got a dark side. And I think their dark side may be something that you enjoy a little bit here. It may be just something that they are quite sexual or they're quite obsessive, and you might be the type of person that quite likes somebody who gets obsessed with you. It's very flattering, I'm sure, to some extent until it goes wrong. But you are coming across, on the other hand, as somebody who is very strong and not afraid to make their stamp in the world. I think there is a high possibility from these cards, you've got the Warrior here and you've got the Three of Swords, that you've got the Hermit. So I do think that you're somebody who has possibly had some heartache in the past. It could even be childhood heartache, and you've worked really hard on yourself and you've taken everything on board and you have come out you have come out really well. I can't think of a really good way to say that. You have come out flowered from it, really, and you've come out really strong. But you've only come out strong through working through the dark areas in your life and what life has thrown at you, and the dark bits in your personality, and you've really sorted yourself out. And I think you probably had some hard times, and it's really actually I wonder whether this bit in your partner is something that you recognise in yourself from the way that you've worked on yourself, and you can associate with that. So you possibly could have been attracted to this person through the conversations that you've had, where this person is very similar to you and not afraid to dig into dark areas. There's a strong, addictive, Scorpio, seductive feel about this pile. Okay, well, I'm going to carry on with this situation here. So I'm going to try and read this as if it's a past life, and it should, because I do think that patterns repeat themselves. You may be able to pick bits out of here that repeat themselves in the present situation. I think, as I've just said here, that you have been attracted to each other because I think the other person provides some sort of inner healing. I think for you, through your childhood possibly, or past relationships that have hurt. And I think this person may be quite controlling in some ways, and the way that they appear on the outside may be very different from the bits I think they hide their dark bits. And I don't mean dark bits as in really dark bits. I mean dark bits as in the bits that they don't think you bring out in a dinner party. It's the bits that they're probably very at ease with it. They probably really enjoy it, but they don't like to show it to other people. But I think that's what you two have bonded on. I think your person finds you very attractive. I think you're both. Okay. I think initially your person found you very attractive because of your sort of your strength and your ability to be very focused when you want something. I think that I don't know if I don't get the feeling that you've got the Queen of Wands behind here, and the situation is the King of Wands, so you've got very fiery energy, but for some reason I'm not getting that from either of you. I'm getting that there's a strength behind you, there's a confidence behind you, and there's like an enthusiasm for life behind you, but there's almost a seductive quality about the pair of you. So I'm thinking the King and Queen of Wands between the pair of you here is that you match each other, and you match each other through your passions and your ability to become obsessed and actually enjoy it, which sounds ridiculous. I think initially when you first met it may have been just some sort of very small practical situation where you both got together and there was some element of defensiveness at the beginning, probably until you weighed each other out, but there was definitely a very strong attraction, as if you had found the one and everything you've searched for in the past has all come together and you have met, what's the line out of Wuthering Heights? Nellie, I am Heathcliff. It's the, when Catherine says, I've met my other half, your energies are very similar. I do think, though, in your present life at the moment, I do think your similarities have led to, and if this is like you haven't met this person yet, I do think that when you do actually get together, it is almost as if you've come home, and the things that you do together, you will share so many interests and be so easy with each other, as in it could be anything. It could be basically you both like going out partying, or you both like staying at home, or you just generally like, building up your home, or you both have the same, I say fantasies just because I keep seeing this card. You both have the same draw to the same things. You feel that this person completes you. I do think, I don't know how I'm going to say this, but I'm wondering whether the person having this reading almost feels as if in your childhood that something didn't complete you, that one of your parents was either missing or didn't actually give you what you feel that you needed, and this person completes you. And it's not, what would you say in a traditional sense, they complete you as they basically make you this like picket fence family. It's just something that's inside you that you think's unacceptable that this person loves about you or will love about you, and it makes you feel as if you dwell together. I think your person's quite romantic, and I think they're quite charming. I think that they give very easy and they're very kind. And I think they're quite watery in that way, that they are very open to love. They're very they like a balanced lifestyle, and they make you feel good. They make you feel as if you've been healed from any trauma that you've had in the past. But there's also that dark edge about them that you like. I feel like crying from reading this. I don't even know why. There's almost a feeling of, there's this really, really strong feeling of giving to each other and healing each other. Do you know when you start reading like a pile of cards, and it all starts coming together? I just got a very strange feeling with this one, because oh my gosh, it's such a healing pile, and it's such a I've found my one pile, and you give each other that sense of home that you didn't have when you were young. And I think you are both very, very giving with each other, and I think you're probably, I would, especially the person in the reading, male or female, I think it's probably quite difficult to live with. I think other people have found you probably very intense, you're almost cut off at times. When your person is a little bit, they've got the same in them as you have, but they come across as a lot more at ease with themselves, and they're probably a little bit more charming, but you're both the same person. You both vibrate at the same frequency, and you probably knew that as soon as you met each other, because there's this feeling of finding the one. But I do feel it might not have been easy to begin with. I don't think that you got together straight away and it was easy. I think there must have been some sort of defensiveness, but there's this general feeling of home and healing. Your person's charming and knows how to charm people. They know that they're attractive, and you like that. Okay, I'm going to sum this up. Pile number 2. I do think that you give each other bits that nobody else has been able to provide you with, and there's that feeling of security and home and feeling complete and accepted. I think that you both give to each other very easily. I think that your person is very sexual, established, charming, and makes you feel as if you are complete. You are the stronger one in this relationship, because I think you may have had a harder past, but you have worked so hard on yourself that you have come out on top. You match each other, the King of Wands, Queen of Wands. You just match each other, and you know it and you feel it. And you just live your life exactly how you both want it, and it makes you extremely happy. I don't know whether you party together, whether you travel together, whether you share the same work interests, or whether your interests lie at just establishing a home. A home would make sense because you've got both the Four of Wands here. But I do think this is a really sweet, dark pile that is so healing. So well done. So, and this would repeat it. This is like repeat itself. In the past, you've got together, you've felt these feelings, and you've done it again. And it happens over and over and over again. It's that sort of deja vu feeling. You know, you almost know when you see each other and you recognise each other. It's almost instant attraction, and it can throw you off your feet when you meet somebody that you recognise in that way. Right, thank you for listening, pile number 2. I hope that helps or makes sense and I'm not going mad. Okay, pile number 3. I'm going to just go through this. I've got so many cards here. I'm going to go through it bit by bit and see what unravels and whether it makes sense to you. Your person's energy, we'll go through that first. Your person is coming across as a huge mixture of different energies. I think when I pull these out, these two almost go together. This person is probably somebody who has a large group of friends, somebody who appears very at ease with himself, very spiritual, or very good at making the right decisions and coming across as if they're very at ease with themselves and ease with their decisions and whatever they do in their life. They are probably good at keeping themselves at a distance if they need to, but also very friendly and humanitarian to others. They could be very interested in spirituality, I don't know. But they've also got here the Devil card. So I think that they may have two sides to their personality that they struggle with. So they might have this side which is very sort of laid back, very sort of detached, but they're underneath there's almost this rapid goat going on. But they could have they may struggle with a either materialistic side or a oversex side, or just basically control in some way, which I think they will find difficult because these energies are so different, but we all have it in us. There's this sort of energy they probably give out of being very laissez-faire, but deep down I think that they could possibly be very jealous and quite manipulative if they want something. No different from everybody else, but that's just what I'm picking up. You also come across as you've got the Mask here, and you've got the Maiden and the Tower. The Maiden is the first card I'm going to talk about here. The Maiden comes across as somebody who's probably quite feminine, or comes across as if they're quite pure, almost virginal, and it may be the way that you go other people see you. But I do think that you have possibly had some sort of, I've got a funny feeling this may actually be now. It's almost as if the way that you've lived your life could be quite people pleasing. You could be very gentle, but I wonder whether you are going through huge changes at the moment, where you are just fed up of putting on a face. And my first thought was working here. You may be fed up of pretending that you're happy, or pretending that everything's okay, fitting yourself into some sort of slot in society, or fitting yourself into some sort of situation or relationship that you're almost you're not happy with, but you have not said anything about. And I wonder whether at the moment this is totally changing for you. So you have both got very similar energies of almost having very socially acceptable personalities where people find you both very attractive, but underneath I've got a funny feeling, and I don't know why, that this is something that's coming up at the moment that's very sort of topical for the pair of you, whether you are just fed up of not showing your whole personality. This person here, I think, is probably far more sexual than they've admitted in the past. They are probably far more controlling and far more jealous than they've admitted, because we all have it in us. But I wonder whether your person has almost like pushed it aside, and that's not very, very acceptable. It's not very nice. But then there might be bits coming up now, and they're thinking, well, that is part of me, and I know how to deal with that, and that's what I'm going to do. You, on the other hand, have come across, I think, as somebody who likes to be liked, who likes to play a role that is very sort of, I'm not going to say meek, because I don't mean meek, but just basically very lovable. People find you very attractive, and you have just got to the stage now where you are fed up of it. To me, you both seem to be at the same... If this is like a future relationship, I wonder whether you're going to hit this at the same point, as if you go through a transition, and it's a huge one, of being fed up of playing roles that you think other people have put you into. I'm going to go through, this is like the pile of how things have come together and how they're going to end up possibly. I do think that patterns repeat themselves, so this pile here may be just a situation that you're going through at the moment that rings true. All right, okay, I'll just go through it bit by bit. I wonder whether you have either you've got together, or if you haven't met this person, you're going to get together through some sort of traditional situations where one person is helping the other out, or one person is almost like in an established career that is a helper or a teacher, or just somebody where it's like a building or a traditional setting that you may have met, or it may be important in your relationship, where one person helps the other, like a teacher student, or whether one could be slightly older and you've met in this, like, it's either a building or it's a traditional situation. But there's also this feeling of being something slightly underhand about the meeting, or how you've got together, or the reason that you are together. I wonder whether you've met in a situation where it's been quite normal, and you've both recognised the similarities in each other, and you've helped each other through a certain step in your life, and you've worked together. And I don't mean typically just in work, but worked as a you've developed together, and then that's how you've got close. You could be, the person having the reading, with a male or female, is coming across as somebody who's either very interested in having children, or is very sort of creative and likes to give birth to their own ideas in a creative fashion. But there's this sort of feminine energy about them that is that almost likes to give birth to situations, whether it's just starting you could even like to decorate a house, build it up, decorate it. You could just somebody who likes new beginnings, but there's almost like a feminine energy about you. Your person, on the other hand, comes across as somebody who is, they could be Aquarius. They could just be very sort of, I'm getting like a Pisces Aquarius feel about your person, so I don't know whether that is true or not. But they are somebody who almost not pretends, it could be true, I don't know. They're not interested in life. But I think a lot of that is like a disinterest, because they are afraid of, they are actually quite passionate underneath, and they're so afraid of being rebuffed or putting their effort into something and it basically be thrown back at them, that they almost give off this sort of laid back aura. Okay, let me go back, I'm jumping there. You have a very strong work vibe, either that you have both worked really hard in a relationship or whether you do actually work together. Let me put some extra cards on here. I wonder if the relationship at the moment may have started in some sort of passionate way or underhand way, or whether you've been attracted to each other and one person may have been taken. I don't know, because there's like, you've got the Nine of Swords here, which is you've both worked together, you're working together, you're attracted to each other, but it's not easy. There's almost some anxiety or sleepless nights to do with it. And in the past, there's like a passion and a warmth. And at the moment, it's almost as if it's gone back into being thrown back into just thinking about it and having to readjust to some situation. I don't know whether you work together or whether there is a possibility that you will work together. Okay, the King of Swords and Chariot. The King of Swords, I will tell you, this is like the small outcome at the moment, and I think it will go on to like a work situation. But I wonder, the King of Swords is somebody, I don't know whether this is your person, it can be male or female, who is almost quite detached, very clever, very astute, and quite intellectual, maybe reads a lot. But this person is also very focused and likes to win. Yeah, I know I say this every time, but you've got the King of Swords, you've got Che Guevara, I don't know how to pronounce his name, to me, very Aquarius, Uranus, Pisces. I wonder whether your person comes across as being very intellectual, but also quite spiritual. But also you've got the Chariot card here, which almost with the Devil, there's like an inner passion inside them, but which is with a controlled exterior. So I wonder whether your relationship has grown slowly and gently, and I don't know whether you got together in some situation which was a little bit, could have been slightly not above board, maybe more passionate, and then there's been some sort of pullback from the situation where you've thought that this is not going to work because it may not be morally acceptable, because this is you, this is the situation growing, and then it's crossed by the Nine of Swords, which almost makes me think that the situation has flourished, the attraction's been there, and then you've almost as if you've had to shut off for some reason. There's been sleepless night and tears and anxiety, and your person's coming across as somebody who, I wonder whether you get two types of energy from them, because they are very sort of detached and aloof, but also quite focused and like to win. You're coming across as somebody who is basically played the situation of being very sort of attractive and feminine and loving and creative. Why I think your person's coming across as harder than you. Or I'm not saying they come across, I don't think they are actually, I think they come across as if I may be interested, very on, very off, I may not be interested. They come across as Four of Cups. Aquarius can be quite detached. Aquarius here, quite detached, very logical, very intellectual, but there's this like underneath, they may pull away from you, but they haven't stopped thinking about you. There's like that sort of, I pretend I don't care, but deep down, this is killing me, energy about them. I still think there's a real strong, I wonder whether one of you is working really, really hard on the situation and putting all the effort into, and it's causing quite a bit of, you've got the Eight of Pentacles here, which is basically work, but it's not really working together, but one of you is upset. It almost seems like the female in the relationship, or the female energy, is wasting a lot, I'm saying waiting because I don't know, to be honest, is spending a lot of time upset with this relationship. There's a lot of turmoil with it and a lot of tears with it, and I think this person's energy is very on-off. And it's throwing the person having the reading into a lot of turmoil. I do think that it's almost as if this is like a past life situation, I would guess that your person is comes across very different, but underneath they're very sort of possessive and passionate, and they come across as cool, but I do think that they trigger very easily. You, on the other hand, has come across very gentle and very loving and very open, but I think you've almost, with trying to get yourself through this relationship and finding out where you fit and working on it, you've almost had a complete, not epiphany, it could be epiphany, a move from, it's changed your personality, as in it's toughened you up a lot. And I wonder whether you have had to work on yourself to get yourself, this person has done you a favour, to get yourself to some higher level, and then that's when the relationship will flourish. I wonder whether you can feel this happening now, whether in the end that you will end up together in some sort of established family relationship. And you've got the Ace of Pentacles as the end card and the Ten of Cups. So that's almost like some sort of offer that's like based in reality. It could be financial, but it's also like family. Right, I know I ramble because I read the cards as they come across, which is really difficult, and I've got so many cards. So I'm going to sum it up for you. I'm going to start off with the how your relationship has probably developed in past lives, if you believe in that, and probably mirrored in this life. I think that you work really hard in this relationship, and I think you've shed a lot of tears over it, or feel a lot of anxiety, and I think it always seems to fall on you because you're coming across as the person that works the hardest, especially if you're female. I wonder whether your relationship started on quite fiery grounds where one of you could possibly have already been taken. And I also think that the biggest bugbear in this relationship is your person's energy. They come across as detached and laid back and sexy and attractive, and everybody likes them. But deep down, they are very focused and quite sexually possessive in some way. They like to come across as laid back, but they're not. And I think only you will be able to see that you have to struggle with this. Relationships are like this, that you struggle with this, and I think it's actually done you a favour. This person's, in and out of energy and pretending they're laid back when really you know that they're not, has caused you to bring out the best in yourself, and you've come out a stronger person. You've come across as as I've said before, the Maiden and the Queen of Cups, and I think it's stopped if you're a people pleaser or somebody who's very gentle natured and let people take advantage of yourself, this person has helped you stand up for yourself. They have done you a real favour. Not in a negative way, just in a way that you've had to make, you've had to find your solid grounding, know who you are and what you want, and whether this person wavers or not is totally up to them. You're there, if you want me, come and join me. I'm not going to meet you, I'm not more than halfway. And I think that you are going to be the winner out of this because you've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups. I wonder whether this situation has repeated itself so many times before. The laid back energy, the hiding actually passionate feelings, sexual feelings, obsession. It doesn't exist. Yeah, it doesn't exist, but you know it does. And you just tried to keep the peace, worked hard, tried to keep the peace, and you know who they are. And it's not negative. It's just they don't know how to reveal their inner passions and their inner workings because they feel that they're not attractive. Where you have now become quite at ease with that. And I think in the end result, I think you both could end up in a long-term relationship, or if it's not been long-term already. And I think you've got yourself to thank that for the work that you've done yourself and within the situation. It's not a negative pile, it just shows growth to me, and it shows, especially from you, a real strength of character. I do feel that you've had your ups and downs, and I just think that's the way it is. But I think the only reason that you've had your ups and downs are mainly for you to bring out your inner strength, and for your person to just basically accept that you can have such different parts of your personality, that you can be mystical, you can be spiritual, you can be detached, you can have lots of friends, but you can also have a dark side. You know, they might like to be financially established, they may like money, they may just, you know, have a really strong sex drive which doesn't fit into other partners, but, you know, who cares if it works for you two and you're not hurting anybody? That's fine. Okay, pile number 3. I hope that convoluted pile made sense to you, because it's quite interesting to me. Right, thank you very, very much for watching, and thank you as well, I know it's at the end of the video, for anybody who has subscribed recently or left any kind of comments, because it's so nice to read them, because you do think you're mad talking to 2 candles. So thank you very much for watching and anything that you've done, and I hope to see you again. Bye.